Welcome into Outkick the Show. I'm your fearless leader, Clay Travis. A little bit of a different schedule than ordinarily would be taking place because I'm down at the beach with my family, hence the palm tree background here. About to go back out to the beach with them, but wanted to go ahead and address a bunch of different things that have been going on so far this week. I did the radio show yesterday, so I didn't feel the need to do an Outkick the Show. I want to thank all of you for making Outkick June the greatest month in the history of the company. All right. And if you're curious about the business side of this company, go read an article that I tweeted out. And by the way, I am rocking my July 4th popsicle shirt, red, white, and blue popsicle. I know some people are going to react to this. Guess what? I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to rock July 4th gear, including the red, white, and blue popsicle, which is an iconic classic of the popsicle genre. And if you are anti-America or you are anti-popsicles, you can go watch ESPN. For the rest of the red-blooded American population out there that loves popsicles and loves the USA, boom, I brought them both together in the exact same shirt. All right, so a bunch of different things that I want to hit, but right off the top here. If you are a fan of Outkick, and I know that many of you watching right now and or listening are fans of Outkick, and that we are growing faster right now than any sports media company, maybe any media company, period, in the world. The Corona Bros are going to be upset, but we are exponentially experiencing growth right now. We are in the exponential phase of growth of our company. And we want you to sign up for Outkick VIP, all right? If you are a super fan of Outkick, you need to be signed up for Outkick VIP. What are you going to get? Only people can comment on Outkick or Outkick VIPs, all right? The only people who can call the VIP phone line on the radio show and get immediately onto the radio program are Outkick VIPs. We are going to have a ton of events for you guys featuring Jason Whitlock and myself and other Outkick employees. All of that is rolled up into the Outkick VIP price. You also right now get an autographed copy of my book, latest book, sent directly to your home where you can display it proudly. And we are going to have a lot of gambling discussion on the message boards as well. I should mention we're going to have a VIP message board with your ability to interact with the people who write at Outkick on a regular basis. Plus, and I know at times there's been a lot of trepidation. I'll give you my gambling picks for Outkick. Jason Whitlock will give you his as well. And also, I'll give you my stock picks. And the stock picks, while the gambling picks haven't been flawless, the stock picks have been absolutely on fire. I hope you listened to me and just took my advice. Blindly, if you had just gone out and bought the stocks that I told you to invest in this year, you would have made an absolute ton of money. So I hope you have been fortunate enough to be an Outkick subscriber. I hope you bought stocks. I hope you will sign up for the Outkick VIP. It's easy to find. Go to outkick.com, click the VIP tab, and you will be up and running. There are already thousands of you that have signed up for Outkick VIP. We are building out a great Outkick VIP community for a lot of you to be able to interact. It is going to be an awesome opportunity for everybody to come hang out there. All right, bunch of different things. Coronavirus. The coronavirus death rate continues to decline. I understand that everybody out there is sharing fear porn with you like crazy. And the idea is, oh my God, everybody's going to die. Look at the rates in Florida. Look at the rates at Arizona. Look at the rates at Texas. And what most people are overlooking is the people who are testing positive are mostly in their 20s and 30s. And if you are in your 20s and 30s right now, you are more likely to die driving to and from work than you are to die from the coronavirus. Let me repeat that. I believe the stat is if you are under 50 years old, you are more likely to die from a traffic accident driving to and from work than you are from the coronavirus. Doesn't mean you don't need to be smart, but make smart decisions. I don't know what the death rate's going to do, but I do know this. It's hardly gotten any attention at all. But the death rate has dropped by 90% from the coronavirus since the end of March. You would think that that would be the number one story in all of America, that the death rate from the coronavirus has dropped by 90%, okay, compared to April 21st. In 2 months, almost all of the coronavirus deaths have disappeared. And right now, when you actually break it down in the larger context, that should be the story. The death rate is not skyrocketing. In Florida, where I am right now, the death rate is not skyrocketing. Now, I don't know what exactly the future is going to hold. I wish I did. I wish I could predict exactly where we are going to go. But right now, where we have already gone is to a 90% decline of the death rate. Maybe we've already hit too low. Maybe we have already gone as low as we can without a vaccine. I'm not sure. The numbers could start to go up. They could stay steady. They could go down more. It's impossible to actually predict, but what you need to know is things are infinitely better now than they were in April, and things are getting better. There is not actually any evidence that people in their 20s and 30s are under danger from this. And so this idea, this fear porn that is spreading like crazy and everybody out there is worried about it, I think that deaths can still go down even if the number of cases is increasing. Now, this is also a big story that got almost no attention. The CDC came out and said 10 times as many people as have actually tested positive for this disease have had it, in the CDC's opinion, meaning over 25 million people have had the coronavirus. Do you know what the vast majority of people who have the coronavirus are dealing with? Nothing. The vast majority of people who have had the coronavirus in this country haven't even known they've had it, or they have experienced it as a small cold-like virus. This is not ending the way of American existence, all right? This is absolutely insane, okay? Look at the data. We are not in danger, by and large, of dying of the coronavirus. Yesterday, 300 people or some such died of the coronavirus. 7,200 people in America died of something else. The CDC's own numbers, which are probably conservative, say that 25 million people have already had it. That's almost 1 in every 10 people in the country. If the CDC be low, if you actually look at them, okay, if you actually look at the CDC data, then the CDC data would reflect, regardless of age, there's a 99.5% recovery rate. If you just keep this virus out of nursing homes, then 99.75% of all people in the country, if it's not 99.8% or 99.9%, because New York lied about nursing home deaths, if you actually look at the data, okay, then the data would reflect that there is almost a 0% chance of death. Again, the best way I can put it is if you're under the age of 50, you are more likely to die driving to work than you are from the coronavirus. All of these data points matter a tremendous amount. And it is incredibly important that real, actual facts are shared. And that's what I've tried to do with Outkick from the moment that we actually started. Okay? So that is the way that I would encourage you to follow as you break down the process. Be aggressive in the way that you look at the overall data. And if you get rolling, all right, actually look at the data and make sure that you make smart decisions for you and your family. I keep focusing on 3 things: the facts, the facts, the facts. All right. I'm with my family at Florida right now. As soon as I finish this show, I'm walking right down to the beach and spending the day at the beach. That's where I'm going. Encourage you, by the way, to go read the anonymous mailbag, which is already up on the mailbag, and you'll be glad that you did. All right. So that is the latest on the coronavirus. Cam to the Patriots. Love it. I love Cam to the Patriots. This is a vintage Bill Belichick move. I can make you a strong bullish case. Costs almost nothing for Cam to go to the Patriots. It is a fantastic addition. And if you actually look at all of the advantages that the Patriots have with this move, it's just vintage Belichick. I don't know how much Cam Newton has left. And if you actually go out and look at what Cam has done when he had an MVP season, all right, Cam's ceiling is insanely high. Now, at 31 years old, maybe that ceiling is passed. Maybe he is no longer able to still be what he was hoping to be in the past. But look at his career. Heisman Trophy winner, incredible success with Auburn, going 14-0, comes into the NFL, wins the MVP, and goes to the Super Bowl. The Patriots have managed to replace 1 year MVP at quarterback with another year MVP. And guess what? They almost had to pay less for Cam in the NFL this year than Auburn did for Cam for 1 year of Cam in college football. A little bit of a gig there for the Auburn community. And by the way, they were all in and they knew a great deal when they got it. It was absolutely phenomenal. And so I like this move to go with Cam. I think it's low risk, high reward. It's everything the Patriots have typically done before. Now, you want the bullish case on Cam? It is that this defense is going to be able to build an offense around Cam that works really well, because you already have a great defense. You don't have to score a lot of points. And so as you break this down, if you want the bearish case, it's that the Patriots still don't have a lot of offensive weapons. N'Keal Harry didn't come in and play very well. Mohamed Sanu looked like he was past his prime. Julian Edelman is aging. I don't know what happened with Sony Michel, but he was very average at best. I think this Patriot offense, even with Cam Newton, is mediocre. And I think that's the real reason why Tom Brady left, because he recognized there wasn't enough offensive talent there instead of deciding that he didn't want to play for Belichick anymore. I think he knew he couldn't win another Super Bowl there, and the offense showed him. All right, I don't like this move by the NBA. The NBA is allowing players to make statements on their jerseys. Will they allow players to make statements about politics all around? For instance, if a player wants to in the NBA write "Free Hong Kong" on his jersey, is the NBA going to allow him to do it? Because Hong Kong just had all of its democratic rights taken away. If the NBA players wanted to stand up to China, as opposed to denigrating America at every opportunity, would the NBA allow it? If the NBA won't allow it, then this is not actually First Amendment speech. This is content discrimination. Would the NBA allow somebody to put on the back of their jersey, "Abortion is murder"? Would they allow someone to say Second Amendment? Would they allow someone to argue against abortion or for abortion? Would they allow somebody to argue on the Second Amendment or not? Would they allow people to have Trump supporters? Could somebody put Trump 2020 on their jerseys? The answer is probably no to all of that, which means the NBA isn't actually allowing players to make political statements. It's allowing the players to make political statements when they don't actually create any substantive conversation, right? So I think what the NBA is doing here is an awful precedent. And I think it's an awful precedent because the NBA is losing touch with who their average fan is, all right? Go look at who pays and buys tickets to go watch NBA games, which is where the vast majority of direct NBA revenue comes from. It's not somebody who is walking around in a social justice warrior protest. It's a 55-year-old businessman who is paying a lot of money to sit down close to watch a basketball game take place. I think what the NBA is going to do is they're going to reverse the era that Jordan and Magic and Larry Bird built, and they are going to turn into a hyper-political league. That is going to make social media happy, but remember, only 1 in every 50 people ever posts on Twitter, right? Trying to make Twitter happy very often destroys your business, and I wrote an entire book about this. It's easy, right? If you are in the business of appealing to the public, I want to appeal to everybody, all right? I don't want anybody out there to only like a part of my content if I'm trying to appeal to everybody. Now, some people say, hey, wait a minute, Clay, you don't appeal to everybody. Yeah, I'm in the opinion business. If I were in the business of appealing to everybody, I would never say anything that interesting, right? I would shut up and I would run my business and I would try to avoid offending anybody by just being great at my business, right? I'm not sure that that's as easy as it used to be, but my business isn't about appealing to everyone. It's about saying exactly what I believe every single day. That's what we do at Outkick, on radio, on podcast, on television, on Periscope, on Facebook, on the web, on social. I would be a totally different person if my business was predicated on never telling you what I said. Doesn't mean I'd be any less personally opinionated. Just means I wouldn't share exactly what I believed every moment of every day. The NBA is in the business of appealing to everyone. And I think they are going to alienate a huge percentage of their overall audience. And the articles will be written where everybody will say, wait a minute, it turns out making Twitter happy can destroy your business. I'll give you an example. Last week on Wednesday, ESPN posted the lowest primetime ratings in the history of the network. Do you know what they did on Wednesday night? They gave over their programming to social justice warriordom, to Woke Center, and their audience vanished. Okay? Made Twitter happy. Made Twitter happy when ESPN gave Caitlyn Jenner and ESPY. Made Twitter happy when ESPY ratings collapsed by 81%. It blows my mind that people don't understand that Twitter is a funhouse mirror. If you run your business to make Twitter happy, soon you will not have a business at all for the vast majority of brands in terms of growing that business. All right? This ain't complicated. I look at the data and I go where the data leads me. And the data says most people want to escape politics in sports. I believe it's going to be even more important than usual to escape politics in sports in 2020 because politics is going to be everywhere and because all the other serious things are going on. Look, a long time ago, someone referred to sports as the toy chest of life. And sports is the toy chest of life. It's where people go to escape serious things in their life, not to be able to reinforce the serious things in their life. So I think this is going to be a bad move by the NBA. I also think this is going to be a bad move when it comes to kneeling. The National Women's Soccer League already has got major issues because their players decided to kneel. Now, on its most basic level, what is amazing is social media has so quickly condemned people like Drew Brees who want to stand for the national anthem that standing for the national anthem is now the bravest thing you can do, right? I want you to think about that for a minute now. When everyone kneels, isn't the brave and courageous thing to do actually stand for the national anthem? Yes, it is. In the space of a few months, we have gone from kneeling being the aberrational statement-related move to crazily and wildly welcome to 2020 universe where now standing for the national anthem is the best thing that you can do to prove that you are not a coward. It's wild how quickly this thing has shifted, and that's because most people are sheep. They follow whatever the consensus opinion is. They don't think for themselves. They're so afraid of people saying mean things about them that they won't even research the actual data on their own. They don't pay attention to the facts, and they do whatever the popular opinion is to try to avoid getting criticized in any way. So, the NWSL, which I didn't even know they had fans, the National Women's Soccer League, they have already now implemented a new policy where you don't have to be out on field for the national anthem. They're changing things because even the National Women's Soccer League got significant blowback when all of their players decided to take a knee for the national anthem. Because go figure, a huge percentage of sports fans believe that standing for the national anthem is an important part of the pregame festivities. Now, I have long argued, you can go read my most recent book, I have long argued that the smartest thing to do would be not to play the national anthem, right? Unless you're a college or unless it's like the Olympics or something like that, because now it's become a way for players to make political statements, and that's bad for your overall business. But everybody's going to have to figure out what to do here. The NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, there are a lot of different players and owners that are going to realize, wait a minute, in this coronavirus era, when we're desperate to make as much money as we can without live attendance, we are going to alienate a huge percentage of our audience. We already saw this. This is why it's crazy. We already saw this happen with the NFL. The NFL had a 2-year anthem controversy and ratings dropped 19%, nearly 20%. Overall revenue from advertising collapsed. The television networks lost hundreds of millions of dollars. We already know exactly what's going to happen here. I think the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, has got the best possible system by default. Their players are all in the locker room for the national anthem. So they don't have to worry about any statement being made during the national anthem because the players aren't on the field. That's not because they planned this out in advance. It's because of the way that the pregame festivities have always gone. I think probably the smartest move they could make is to roll everybody back and not have anybody of the players out for the national anthem. Or if players feel strongly, they can walk out and stand for the national anthem themselves. Otherwise, they get a few extra minutes to get ready for the game. But this is going to be a huge issue. Remember, Colin Kaepernick said it was directly about the flag, even though everybody wants to cleanse what he said. He said, I refuse to stand for the national anthem for the flag. He directly made it about the flag itself. That's why the protests began. And it's going to be a massive issue. People are like, oh, it should be a non-issue. Well, it's going to be a massive issue because there's a huge percentage of the American sporting fan base public that is not going to consume a product where they feel like they're getting slapped in the face by the players that they are supporting. It's not complicated. It's not complicated in any way, and it's relatively easy to understand. I care about business, right? I'm a business person. It's why my business is rolling. I look at what the data says, and I give the audience that likes something more of it. It's not complicated. And most of the people who bought teams are businessmen. The problem is players have forgotten where their salary comes from. They've seen salaries go up for so long, they don't understand that ultimately the reason why they are making the money that they are is because of fans. If you alienate fans, you're going to make less money. This isn't complicated. It's the very essence of capitalism. If fewer people are interested in consuming your product, then you make less money. I don't think players understand that because they're not businessmen, they're employees. Employees think it's important to do things that matter to them because they can't think in a broader scale about the larger business. Antonio Brown might be coming back to the NFL. I'll say this. I am a guy that believes so long as your talents exceed your problems, you should always be employed. And I think if Antonio Brown can stay out of trouble, he deserves an opportunity to return to the NFL because his talents at a high level are more significant than his problems. So I would support the idea of Antonio Brown returning. I love the idea of Antonio Brown playing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though Bruce Arians has said that's unlikely. If I'm a team out there, maybe it's the New Orleans Saints. If I'm a team that believes I am one high talent wide receiver away from a Super Bowl, I make this move and I go out and I grab somebody at its very essence like Antonio Brown, who I feel like can make plays. Finally, Ozark, tell me this. Ozark Season 4 is now been announced. I caught up on Ozark Season 1, 2, and 3. I absolutely loved everything about this show. It is fantastic. They have announced that the final season will be Season 4. One of the most blockbuster endings you can possibly imagine occurred at the end of Season 3. I don't want to give it away, but I know a lot of you are out there looking for something new to watch, and so I would encourage you to check out Ozark. I think you will enjoy it. I think you will have a good time watching it. I would continue to watch multiple seasons going ahead. My guess is that Laura Linney and Jason Bateman and all the other big-name actors that have been involved in this series are ready for it to be over and want something new to do in their lives. But they announced today that Ozark Season 4 is coming back. It's a phenomenal television show. Really fun one to watch on Netflix if you haven't already. If you're looking for something new to be able to go out, and you will be hooked up and you will enjoy more than anything the opportunity to watch Ozark, in my opinion, for Season 3. All right. I love all of you. I appreciate everything you have done. Encourage you to go support Outkick at the Outkick VIP. If you're curious about the Outkick business, I would encourage you to go read the article that went up about our business today and what a role we are actually on. Lots more awesomeness to come. Go ahead and bookmark Outkick.com. Make sure you don't miss any of our content. My name is Clay Travis. I got to get out to make sure that I make it to the beach. Happy 4th of July early. I'll continue to do some of these Periscope and Facebook shows this week. I'm out for radio, but I want to thank you for all of the support. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I'm down in Florida, by the way. Great restaurant meal last night at George's in Alice Beach. Going out again tonight. Headed down to the beach. Perfect day. My wife just texted me and said it's like a lake on the Gulf right now, which is rare when it's that perfect. I will be out there with the boys. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Thanks for making June the greatest month in Outkick history. Kisses, DBAP unless you need to SBAP. See y'all. Love you. Thank you, Facebook. See you guys.